Easy guys, and welcome back to the lab. Today we continue into the depths of the ocean in Subnautica 2, an experiment that nobody asked for, but science demands. I begin back at base near the alien ruins, making preparations before I went out, looking for Anita's next black box. It was time to look over my tools, food and water. Already I could see some things that needed my attention.
Let's have a think about what we do next. I've got some power cells a little low for some of my tools here, weight maker and sonic resonator. These could do with a battery, so let's have a look in here and see if we can craft a battery first and foremost. And then probably take a look at the food situation. Acidic rayon pouch. Yes, I'm starting to remember now. So we started with our little garden. Right, so what I'm thinking is maybe we can grow some rayon pouches. I think that will help us here. I'm just going to get whatever fiber I can from these guys. Cultivation. Let's see, acidic rayon. And what do we need? Medical gel sac. So we've got to go on a little bit of adventure, I think. A little bit of a gathering mish, as always. And I am feeling a tad rusty. Haven't played for 2 weeks, so let me figure myself out. Let's get some of this back into our various storage containers. Right, we do have some food and we've got some water. Should be enough.
It was time for a resource gathering adventure. I needed medical gel sacks to grow rayon pouches, a principal ingredient in the creation of power cells. I didn't need to go far to find any either.
And there's one dead ahead. Excellent. Oh, missed that one. Grab it. Let's get out of there. Excellent. Is that what we wanted? We wanted medical gel sac. Yeah, that's what we need to grow some more. Can't remember how much we needed per plant to grow it in the planter, but I'm guessing 1 or 2. Let's keep moving around. The disease is armored. Let's come in here and let's grab this one. I'm just going to prepare myself for a quick scoot away. There we go.
Things had started well, but an old friend announced their presence in the depths.
There's our old friend. Where is he? He was usually out there somewhere, wasn't he? Yeah, let's not explore too far that way. Let's keep looking around. Okay, let's get this old rayon pouch. I'm going to get hit now, am I? No, I'm not. It cooled down. Excellent. Right, how many do we have? We've got 4 Medigel sacks now? Oh, and another one. I will not say no. Right. That gives us 5. Where's our base?
I now had a handful of Medigel sacks at hand. Now that I'd unlocked the planter in the last video, I could grow rayon pouches on my front doorstep. Less grinding, more exploring. But in order to grow anything, I'd have to find the base again.
Where are you? There we are. We're right on top of it. Well, not going to argue with that. Let's... Ow, what was that, man? I'm not even close to anything. Like, literally. Is that... I wonder if that's like a little creature or something. It's got some kind of collision on it.
Back at base, all I had to do was plant the new rayon pouches.
So, let's see if we can do that. Let's... How close to the edge can I place it? Excellent. Nice. 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 Oh, and an extra one. Yeah, go on. Okay, our little farming project's coming along nicely.
I was astounded at how quickly these plants were growing.
We won't have to wait long at all for this. Wow, look at that guy growing. It's like fast charge. We don't need the little medipacks. We just need these little pouches on the side here for batteries. So this should be relatively easy. Excellent.
After a short grow period, I had the pouches. It was back to the fabricator to cook up some power cells.
1, 2. Nice. I'll pop those in when these guys run out, so the sonic resonator and the weight maker now have a power cell. What else do I need to think about? How's our food situation? As I seem to remember it, this was a constant issue, more or less.
It then dawned on me. Perhaps I could grow food and water. I had a steady supply of fibrous pulp in the grow beds, so perhaps there was a way I could turn it into a steady supply of food. It turns out I could make some oily salad. This stuff didn't offer much food per unit, around 20. Not great. However, I was starting to build an infinite supply of fibrous pulp beneath the base, so it didn't really matter. The more nutritious food options like nutrient blocks needed things like salt, which was still a little bit of a commodity. It felt like the most economical choice was oily salad mass production. So I set about growing more freesia flowers, my finest source of fibrous pulp.
Just make a load of oily salads. We've got plenty of fibrous pulp. Water's going to be the other thing. I suppose the only way is that we've still got to keep catching water slugs.
Next job was sorting my inventory space. There were things I no longer needed, such as the trusty air bladder. Great in the shallows, but it had little use down in the deep. I hardly ever went to the surface anymore. The tadpole had become my infinite air supply. My next problem to solve was water.
Water is already dire. We're going to have to find more water slugs. Let's just have a quick look in the processor.
By using the processor, I had a way of converting fibrous pulp into water. Admittedly, this took a little bit of time and a chunk of power, but it was manageable.
Let's be honest, this stuff grows so fast. I mean, look at it, man. My inventory is already full.
With the processor producing water, I was consuming more power than I made. I fancied the idea of adding more lighting to the base, but it would only make things worse. I needed more power next. More jobs. While the water was processing, I collected more fibrous pulp, anticipating the next time I returned to base, desperate for something to eat or drink.
So we're running on the batteries right now. You can see in the top left-hand corner, that little red arrow that says 28. We're using more than we're actually putting back. So I'm not going to make any more lights. Making lights would be, pretty disastrous. It's a shame in a way that lights use so much power. And there we go. There's some water. Let's have some for now. Let's put some back into storage. We'll keep one on a person for emergencies just to get us back home.
I felt like I'd made progress. Now, to upgrade my tools.
We had to make this first, the bioscanner. Let's get on with the bioscanner first. We need some enameled glass.
Enameled glass was next, which needed glass, which needed more quartz. But for now, at least, I had enough to create my bioscanner upgrade.
Bioscanner, modified survival tool. Okay, let's make one of these. Nice. So now we've got the upgraded one. Is there anything else here that we can make before we go and look for Anita? Strike armor, depth module Mark 1, photovoltaic charger, which... how often do we go back to the shallows? We're just going deeper and deeper at the minute.
But enough bimbling in the base. It was time to go look for Anita's second black box.
Let's have a little look around. Where are we going? Down deep. Okay, let's keep going. See if we can find Anita. Now we've got the new depth module, so we can pop all the way down to 450 meters now. So it looks like she's not that far from the existing angel comb.
As I went down, I kept my eyes open for a sit array I knew hung around here.
Are you still here, my friend? Can't find him. Looks like we're okay. Let's keep going. Yeah, we found that angel comb, of course, because we've got the signal. We've got the signal location, so we must have explored it. But now there's this place. Oh, is it right here all along? Madness.
This felt like a good location to wing a flare, a new habit I was trying to develop to avoid any unexpected visits from the local fauna.
Anything nearby, we'll go over there, I'm hoping.
Anita's log. She explained how the habitat was destroyed, but they were the only survivors. They gave themselves to the angel comb.
Crazy. Sounds like more people are falling victim to the virus there. Going mad, going crazy.
That was the last of the black boxes. Noah had gone quiet, back to the base to plan what to do next.
So let's get back to base and have a little ponder, have a little think about what we've missed. Ah, there's our old friend, electric guy. Just a general pest. Please leave me alone. Oh, shh. Shoot. I'm not heading the right direction. I'm heading towards the base. That will lead us straight to the Leviathan, so we don't want to go that way. That would have been a spicy video. Alright, let's get back. Back to the old ruins. A little pop in the base and see where we're at. Yeah. So...
Noah had indeed given me his all. No more messages.
Right, so we've got all the black boxes there, and Noah hasn't come up with anything else for us to find, so we're missing something. There are 2 angel combs that I've seen, and both of them I can't do. I'll have a double check and see if we can have a look at that second one, but I'm pretty sure in my mind's eye that we couldn't do that one either. Okay, there's the angel comb. There might be something we haven't scanned. I'm not quite sure, if I'm honest. I'm just gonna have a quick adventure down and see if I can figure something out. So let's make our way down, slowly but surely. This is right at the bottom of our depth limit. Now there's
This angel comb had closed cankers around it that wouldn't open up, which meant only one thing. At the end of the purple comb tendrils would be more cankers I had to destroy before these would open.
Let's have a quick look around. There's another one here. Where does this one lead? We are getting to the limits of our depth here. Oh, that looks pretty tight, doesn't it? No, I don't think we could follow that unless we have to go over.
A dead end. I continued my search until the 3rd tendril emerged.
Oh, there it continues. Let's see if we can spot any cankers.
This was unexplored territory for me. A new deep-sea cave system with new predators.
Whoa.
Extracting metal from seawater could provide renewable resources for massive construction projects.
Wow.
Preferring to die in toxic
Oh
delirium
my
rather than tumor-riddled agony.
Ow. No, stop it. Ow, panic. Oh, there's a big Leviathan up there. Is that another of those massive ones? But he's not roaring like the...
Sensory overload. I had spotted what looked to be another Leviathan, and smaller predators were peppering the tadpole. This Leviathan didn't seem to make a noise, which worried me as I had little way of knowing where it was.
And we're getting lots of attention here from all these little electric critters.
Closing from all sides as I teetered close to the tadpole's crush depth. All I wanted was a quick reprieve to take in my surroundings.
Right, bit of an action plan. Let's do this. Let's ignite. Let's throw. See if we can distract the local wildlife for a second. Repair up the tadpole. Jump back in. Yeah, nice. Right, you're distracted for the time being. Let's keep trying to see if we can explore. What is this place? There's some metal farms, so we can farm metal, which is cool. What are these machines? Are these just alien things? Ow, I'm sorry. I know. What's this? There's something to scan. Let's have a little scan of this. Is this for me? Scan tailing barrel. World Tree relic. Nice. Oh, feedback resonator. What's this? One of two. Oh, we got something there. Do you think there's anything else around here that we can find? Let's be cautious. Let's be real cautious. What's that blue light? Where are you? Let's try and keep an eye on all things at once. Easy said than done. Oh, there's another thingy there.
I saw something else to scan, but I was all out of flares to create another distraction. I had to be quick. I didn't see anything much to scan, but then I saw it.
Oh, sonic resonator. Nice.
This resonator modification continues
Anything
its
here?
dangerous trend of adapting alien technology to Altera devices.
Nothing here. Ow, ow, no. Go away. Right. What do we do now? Do we make that sonic resonator upgrade?
I headed back for base. I had a new blueprint that might help me break apart Cankers around the Angel Combs. This was progress, but I had to make it home first, and there was a problem with my chosen route.
There's the alien ruins. How do I get back?
I couldn't find a clear route back. I'd come the wrong way. Back towards the Leviathan I went.
We're lost in here. We can't go that way. Let's try and stay low. That seems to be the winning formula. Just keep out of his path. So somewhere, we've got to find the way out. Is this the way? Okay. Yeah, go back to the Angel Comb. Okay, let's get back to base. Oh, and we got an update from Noah as well. So this is all starting to come together now.
I was home. But seeing the planters fully grown, I harvested some fibrous pulp first for storage. When I finally ran out of food, I would appreciate this small gesture for future chlorophyll. But back to business. It was time to check the alert from Noah.
Right, let's see what Noah has to say.
Poetic Advisor has transmitted an alert.
Yes, and we're about to check in. Let's have a quick look.
Another black box entry, this time from Sing. Another disturbing interaction with the tailings.
Okay, so we've got another black box marker there. Sing, where are you? So, yeah, we'll do Sing next, but first...
It was time to upgrade my sonic resonator with the blueprint upgrade I found in the metal farms. I checked over my resources, but I was short of creature enamel for enameled glass. Another resource gathering mission was on the horizon.
So let's pack ourselves some flares, the old faithful. Let's go get some enamel. Where was the enamel? Yeah, the needler nests. There's enamel, is it not? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ignite and chuck it.
Fetch. I kept line of sight while I blasted off a chunk of enamel with the resonator. I moved round the nest, recalling there being plenty to farm around here, so this wouldn't take long. With a pocket of enamel and the day drawing to an end above me, I made my way back to the base.
But that's enough enamel for now. It's only a small amount. It's getting dark.
I began pulling all the materials I had together. It was sonic resonating time.
Right, that's everything we need for the feedback resonator. Have a look in here, have a look in here, and let's give that a craft.
This resonator modification continues a dangerous trend of adapting alien technology to Altera devices.
Nice. Okay.
A ranged upgrade to the resonator. A pulse I could fire from a distance. Interesting. especially considering the Cankers underneath my base, which closed as I approached. It also felt like the charge time was reduced. I was keen to use the new upgrade out in the wild, but I'd need to pack some flares before I headed out, and I was running low on quartz.
Quartz run it is. And then we can do the angel combs. Now, wards, where are you? I seem to recall there was plentiful amounts of quartz down deep. Let's see if my memory is correct.
I headed down into the depths. I recalled a lot of quartz lying around on the seabed just beyond my old 250-meter crush depth. I shouldn't have too many issues farming it now. Let's resonate.
Nice. We got a ranged effect on the sonic resonator and it charged quicker.
I gathered more quartz from the nearby nodes. I couldn't help but notice how I was being pulled towards the angel comb. Should I try and use the resonator on the Cankers while I was here? I couldn't help but have a nosy around, but all these Cankers were closed all the time. They didn't open as I moved away, which meant there were more Cankers to find and destroy first before these would open.
I'm just going to head back to base and just get rid of all this quartz, and then we can focus on what we're going to look at next.
It was time to turn the quartz I'd just gathered into flares. They were becoming the cornerstone of me evading most of the wildlife I encountered. It had taken me a while to depend on them, but they were now becoming part of my normal arsenal. However, I figured it was time to start processing some water to top up my supplies. But as I opened the processor UI, disaster struck. Fat fingers strike.
Oh dear, I've done that twice now. Clicked the wrong button. Instead of change recipe, I've gone for load processor. Ah, well, that was a waste of Celestine, wasn't it? I'm sure we'll use this strontium ingot at some point. Damn, old cheddar fingers here. Right, let's change the recipe.
Now to do what I actually wanted to do and start turning some of my fibrous pulp from the grow beds into water. Then collect some more fibrous pulp, since my plants grew so quickly.
This will give us a bit more food and water. Oh dear, my inventory's already full. Damn, how wasteful. Got tons of this stuff. That's what I like to see. Always happy to have too many resources versus too little. We cannot complain at that.
I started a batch of oily salads. With food and water taken care of for the immediate future, it was time to find some Cankers to blast. Let's figure out this angel comb dilemma once and for all.
I'm ready to go have another look at the old angel comb, really. We've got some flares, we've got everything we need. Where's the old angel comb? There it is. Let's see if we can have any luck with this one. And there's also one directly underneath the base, so that's something else we can crack on with.
By now, I knew I wouldn't find any Cankers I could destroy immediately around the comb. What I needed to do was follow the purple ground tendrils, which would lead me to the ones I could, but some of the tendrils seemingly ran into a dead end.
Now, that goes straight into a wall, so unless it's trying to goad me to go around up and over this wall, it could be. I don't know, that seems a bit of a mad thing to do.
With no obvious tendrils left to follow, I knew there was only one option left to me. One of the tendrils headed into the metal mines, into the Leviathan's lair.
And if we encounter that Leviathan, well, we encounter him. There's not much I can do about this. Let's just keep going. Now, I saw that little branch.
I was being led up the cliffside to the right. This made me wary. I remembered the Leviathan was always above me in the mines, and right now I was absolutely being led upwards. I had no choice but to follow, but I bumped into something else.
Contact. Altera starship wreck detected.
There's some goodies around here too. Cicada wreck Stairway to Heaven.
Past the wreck I could see a platform of interest, but my spider sense was doing a backflip. Something was out there in the void.
Do you hear that? I hear that.
He was waiting for me.
There he is.
Instead, I turned back to the wreck to investigate a little more. I cleared some of the bloom and ventured on in. I wouldn't be able to use the tadpole here, so my air supply was going to be finite.
Let's go into the depths here and hope that someone's maybe left me some oxygen down here in a little tank or something. That would be grand. And that was just some titanium, which means we already had that recipe. Let's keep going. Nice. Oh, okay.
Bubbles everywhere, just what I needed, but something else lay further down.
There's a canker. Ow.
I had found some Cankers to clear. I put my sonic resonator to work and headed back to the entrance. There had to be more sites like that elsewhere, but I took the time to get a bead on the Leviathan and have a look to see if I could scan anything on the platform while his back was turned, but there was nothing of note. I headed back to the main angel comb, but the only tendril seemed to go straight into a wall. I searched the immediate area as best I could, but I was stumped. Nothing of note sprung out at me.
I don't see any kind of angel comb at all around here. Nothing at all, man.
I wasn't having much luck. I kept searching around the immediate area, but nothing. I clearly wasn't looking in the correct place. But then something new caught my eye.
How cool's that, man? Oh, you're kidding me. We can go in, can I? Oh, man, I didn't know this. Oh, that's so cool. Okay. Cool.
These power plant control surfaces operate in a format outside human perception.
Presumably, this is what the angel comb helps us with, because they give genetic upgrades, don't they? So maybe that's it. It will teach us how to use this power plant.
Despite learning what the comb upgrade was likely to give me next, I still couldn't find another Canker site, and darkness was creeping in, reducing visibility. I searched all night, but stuck between the edge of the biome, the various predators taking a pop at me, and places I'd visited before, I didn't have a clue where it was. Then, on my way back to the main comb, I bumped into something by accident.
Oh, what's this? Oh, no. Okay.
I'd found a Canker site. Each one was guarded by 3 bloom parasites. But maybe if I was quick, I could do this without being noticed.
Yeah, they didn't even notice. Didn't even notice. There's another one. We kind of just fell upon this one, didn't we? I mean,
luck had smiled upon me. I found these Cankers entirely by accident. Winner.
Right, so how did that even connect? I want to follow this one back. I see my mistake. So that one was a decoy. What actually happened was this one up here went left, and I was supposed to follow that one up there. So, by the existing logic that we've seen thus far, I should be able to follow this one here. Just getting a bit low on food and water there. This should take us where we need to go. Let's just keep following this one. Keep following this one. Now, this goes into, well, the wall. There's nothing... Yeah, there we go.
I had known about this Canker site all along. It was the one just underneath the alien ruins where my base was located. But in my head, I'd always presumed this was another angel comb, but of course it wasn't. It was coming together in my head now. Each angel comb was surrounded by child combs that needed clearing before the main comb. I cleared it and headed back.
I just got a little bit stuck on them. Right, let's go back to the angel comb and see what we can do here. Right, is that open now? I believe it is.
Finally, it was time to clear the Cankers at the main comb and finish this. First one down.
Right, now I remember another one was slightly underneath a tendril. There it is. My memory serves me correctly. Oof, he was about to have a chunk out of my leg there, so that little guy just rushed up towards me. But no, I denied you your lunch, feeble parasite.
2 down, 1 Canker to go.
Oh, I got too close.
Has starved.
I see, and I also see that this has a slightly different shape. It's got 4 flowering sections to it, whereas the children all around have 2. So I need to start getting better at identifying what all these are. But we're getting there. Noted, noted. Okay, let's get our upgrade. Axiom vision. You can now perceive and interact with... Oh, hello. What's happening? Well, that was a bit trippy, wasn't it?
After my genetic trip, I knew exactly where to go. Straight to the control room for the generator.
And let's see if we can perceive some old Axiom technology, eh? Let's go around to the entrance here and see if... Oh, and I've got some food and water from that, and it's healed me up. Thank you very much. That's saved me a little bit of food and water. This one's got a red light saying this top one is the problem. I don't know what that is.
The controls weren't working the way I'd expected. There was another control station further up, I think. Maybe I could check it out.
Let's check in. Yeah, okay, so what do these do?
I started pushing buttons, trying to match all the UI markers to green. Round I went, aligning controls, but something still wasn't right. Some kind of fan or turbine. So I went out again, looking for something. Quite what, I wasn't really sure. All I knew was I was looking for something that I believed to be a fan. I kept knocking on doors, getting peppered by the local electric Geordies, and for the first time ever the power of my tadpole was starting to get low.
I don't know what I'm looking for, if I'm honest with you. We've got to turn this system on. We can now read alien writing. What do we do? I think I'm looking for some kind of fan or some kind of cooler, because that's what the icon showed. It was like a red fan. Now, they're the only two power buildings, or the only two control buildings that I can see, and everything was in the green. What's this glowing thing? Is this supposed to be anything significant? Cankers hybrid power plant. Cankers self-electricity machine. Other.
Up and down I searched. Night turned into day. Once again I was searching for something, until finally something came into view.
Oh, is that part of the problem? Power plant repair plan. So I guess this is our next objective, right? To repair this thing.
It looked like I had to repair the turbine somehow. My first instinct was to see if I had a recipe for a part to build, but as usual I was looking in the wrong place. I checked my habitat builder.
Now this is telling me titanium ingot, strontium, magna alloy. I don't think I've even built magna alloy. Right, bit of a farm, eh? Okay.
It was back to base. I had a lot of ingots to farm. I marked the location with a quick beacon so I could find my way back easily.
Because I know what'll happen. We'll lose it and then I'll spend ages trying to find it again. Get the old tadpole on charge and see what we can make. Some of those resources look like that's going to be a bit of a grind.
I returned to base, charged the tadpole, then started looking over the processing recipes. Titanium would be easy to find, but I couldn't go yet while the tadpole was on charge, so I checked in on my food and water situation while I waited. Low on water, it seems. Meanwhile, my battery was holding up as the base got its power supply hammered by all this charging and activity.
Oh, we're using 38 power out of 24. This is going to drain the battery, isn't it? But that's what it's there for.
Next, I looked at resources needed for strontium and magna alloy, but I elected to deal with the easiest first. Titanium ingots. I knew I had seen a ton of titanium in a cave in my last video, so I set out to find it again.
Right, so let's go and look for that little titanium cave.
My gut told me to head west, while also keeping an eye out for another of my old friends.
Who is out there?
I finally found it, the titanium cave.
This is exactly what I was looking for. I think these titanium ingots are going to be a quick grind. Right, one more, and then we're going to be full.
This wouldn't take me long to fill my pockets. Mission accomplished. With my pockets stuffed with titanium, I headed back to base. It was time to start loading the processor and getting down to business. But I still needed more titanium, so off I went back to the cave.
Where did we head? West. And that took us straight to the titanium cave, so we'll pick up some more titanium.
I gathered more and more. I was loving the new upgrade to the sonic resonator. Not only did it help me with the Cankers, but its quicker charge and ranged projectile made resource gathering a swift affair. Then it was back to base. I had a single storage box marked up for the ingots I needed for the turbine repair. 10 of each.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we need 2 more titanium ingots.
With the titanium boxed off, it was time for the Celestine, as I recalled back to where I found it last.
Usually down low, right at the edge of our crush depth. Or it was our old crush depth. It was about 250 meters down, I seem to recall, Celestine. I can't recall there being any better locations to farm it, though. It was definitely down about 250 meters.
Celestine had me a little more worried. It dropped in small amounts, and I don't recall ever seeing a lot of it in one place. But slowly but surely, I found node after node.
See if we can skim some off this wall here. There must be some further down.
I kept looking. It was certainly harder to find than titanium, and the locals weren't always particularly welcoming, but a game of fetch did the trick. Nice.
Right, let's get back to base. I don't think this will take too long to farm. I'm not sure about that magna alloy, though.
Back to the base to drop off a pocket full of Celestine. On a positive note, I discovered the economics of making strontium bars wouldn't be as bad as I thought.
Oh, it only takes two Celestine to make a strontium ore, so... Let's go. 7. How many have we got in the old coffer? 8, 9, 10. So we're, yeah, 1 over. Nice. Right, that's our strontium done. Right, which leaves one more thing for us to figure out here, and that is magna alloy troilite. What? I've never even discovered that before.
Another new resource to find, but having been most places at this point, there was only really one place I hadn't fully explored yet.
Okay, so I'm thinking to myself, Troilite, not sure. I've not seen anything like that at all thus far. So I've got a feeling maybe we need to go back to the metal farms, which means dealing with the Leviathan.
I prepared for another mission, off to the metal farm area. I elected to leave the Wakemaker behind, as it had become somewhat invalidated by the improved flippers in my opinion. So off I went, into the depths once again.
Let's head down. I think it was pretty easy to find the metal farms. We just followed one of these tendrils. One of them was the one we were looking for, and that led us straight into a cave. And yeah, here is the old metal farm area.
Since I was heading into the metal farms, I pondered what I might need to farm metal myself. I hadn't done any scanning down here, so while I was about, perhaps now would be a good time to do so. But something green caught my eye.
What are these things? Was that what we wanted?
Luck was on my side. Troilite. Just as I entered the farms, I now knew what I was looking for.
That is indeed what we need.
But back to my side mission. I checked my PDA for more information on the metal farms.
Metal farms, industrial metal extractors, the axiom used to draw dissolved metal out of the water, scan to create blueprints. Let's ease ourselves in.
I wung out a flare to distract the locals while I scanned the Troilite for more information.
I'm just going to give this a quick scan.
It seems my Leviathan friend had stepped out of silent running and had decided to make some noises again. I cracked on with the Troilite farm, but the crushing depths and oxygen deprivation had broken me out in a spot of madness.
I don't think I've got to fear the Leviathan. I don't think he's going to come get me, as long as I stay low.
I really wanted to scan one of these alien structures. I created more distractions before ducking in for a scan on one of these metal farms.
Scan metal farm.
1 of 3. Nice. At least I wouldn't have to look far for any more to scan. These farms were everywhere. Then he was back to the Troilite farm.
Now he's making a noise. He didn't make a noise before. Now he's very much letting everyone know that he's a big scary Leviathan, and that's where he is.
I continued to farm as much as I could, working my way round the metal farms, throwing flares to distract the locals. The flares. They were just so beautiful. It's amazing. I even came across another part of the Tadpole Hall chassis, the increased cargo variant of the Tadpole, something I had not yet crafted, but I'd gathered everything I could see. So it was time to head back to the base to see what ingots I could pull together for the turbine.
Let's head back to the Angel Comb. And then, of course, that leads us back to the base. Let's see how many pieces we got there and what we can make.
Back at the base, I started to piece together what I needed for the Magna alloy, the last of my 3 ingot options.
Axiom bacterial culture. Didn't get one of those, did we? Magna alloy ingot. Seed with metal, very high power draw. Great. So how do we power it?
It turned out I could build metal farms, which, as it turns out, needed Magna alloy ingots, but also bacterial culture, something else I needed to find. The list was never ending. The metal farm also listed a high power draw. The base would need power upgrades too. But I had Magna alloy on the way. I just needed a bit more Atacamite. I prepared the tadpole for another journey and grabbed as much fibrous pulp as I could from the grow beds, anticipating I'd need more food and water soon. It was time to head out for the Atacamite.
Off we go, out to look for Atacamite and titanium. Now we know where the titanium is. I'm going to look for the Atacamite first because it's rarer. I've got a feeling I do know where it is. Let me think. There's the Angel Comb. I'm pretty sure Atacamite is just really low on the floor. It's just these little green crystals. So if we can just grab some of those from roundabouts. It was just beyond 250 meters where we started to see it. Let's keep having a look. Where is our Atacamite?
Didn't take me long to find the Atacamite.
That'll do me just fine. So we also know we're in the right place, about 300 meters down.
Each node only dropped a small amount of Atacamite, but just like Celestine, I was hoping a little would go a long way. It wasn't long before I headed back to base to empty my pockets.
I wonder if we can tap off that alien power plant and power our metal farm with it. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Bit of free power. I don't actually know why we're powering up the power station. I guess we're going to find out, aren't we?
My inventory space was bursting at the seams. Not a bad problem to have. Strange that I also felt I didn't have enough of what I needed at the same time, but I was almost there. I began loading up the tadpole. My grind was finally complete. It was time to repair the turbine. My pockets were full of heavy ingots.
Right, that is all the ingots. It's good there's no such thing as ballast in Subnautica, because as soon as I jump in the water, I'll just sink to the bottom.
I packed my build tool and off I went. Luckily, I'd marked the location with a buoy, so it wouldn't be hard to find. I was just being lazy, taking a direct route to the buoy instead of keeping low.
I think it's safe enough. Right, I'm glad I marked that, because that was a nice and easy find. Right back to the power plant turbine. Now, what do I need to do here?
It was turbine time, until, finally,
Power plant repairs complete. Power plant overhaul complete.
Okay, so how do we restart this thing? I thought it was already turned on.
with the repairs complete, I headed back to the alien control rooms. Let's see if I could fire this thing up.
What am I missing here? Let's find out. What are you missing?
Hot water now flowing into turbine. Locate main controls to restart power plant.
Do you think all the electric Geordies are just going to cling to it?
The power plant was restarting. I just needed to make a visit to the second control console. However, something wasn't quite right.
No, this one's broken.
Damn, some of the other consoles hadn't been properly activated. I cleaned things up before the big finale.
Oh, we just got to do the main switch.
Finally, the mighty turbine was online. If only I knew why I needed to turn it on in the first place. It's part of human curiosity. Just keep pushing buttons until you understand how bad you've made things. I wouldn't be left guessing for long. The game pushed me towards the observatory, the big structure next to the alien ruins. However, I was slightly confused at first as to which structure I was supposed to check, but I soon got my bearings. It was only when I looked at the PDA entry that things made sense.
Detected activity at the alien observatory nearby. Entering the structure will give you a strong salvage claim.
First, though, I needed to head back to the base and prepare some food and water. A slow problem that had been creeping up on me. I also made a dedicated food locker. It was the only item I needed to find quickly for my own inventory, so I gave it a dedicated space.
Okay, so we're set. So let's go and find the observatory. I mean, it's right there. Go and see if we can go inside, because we did say last video that it looked like we could go inside. How do we get in this place? Now we've powered up the power turbine. It looks like this place is... Oh, hello. I've never been this close to them before. Am I going to regret it? Hello. Now, a front door. Ah, yes, maybe slightly lower down here. Is this a front door? Yes, it appears I can get my tadpole in here.
Surprisingly, the tadpole fit. I jumped out, but it seemed there was a finite oxygen supply in here. Sometimes structures don't deplete your oxygen, but not here. It was time to look for stuff to scan.
What's this? Use Axum door. Can I scan this? No. Can I take the tadpole through?
No living thing has disturbed this space in more than 2 centuries. The observatory's water is enriched by oxygen bubblers. Please do not become accustomed to this convenience.
So now it gave me oxygen. This looked like some kind of map of the solar system. I could see the binary star I pointed out in the first video, and there was the ring gas giant. Proteus is apparently a moon orbiting that very giant. I love looking back on something I had previously pondered like this. We were far from human civilization. There would be little chance of rescue here. I then set about trying to read the various control panels. The ancient race who first inhabited this planet built an ancient telescope to observe the world tree. Then, some kind of comet fell from space and destroyed the original telescope, pushing the Axum deeper underwater. 500 years later, groups of magi and Vephards returned and rebuilt the scope. I ventured upstairs and found another old recording from the Axum. The world trees were dying. The tree nourishes the world. and the world nourishes the tree. A symbiotic relationship, but there are creatures out there beyond the Great Trench whose genes may have what is required to renew the tree. Perhaps these tailings the PDA log spoke of. But there are many, many unanswered questions here, various species and phenomenon.
Oh, thank you for playing. You can continue to explore, build and enjoy the world, but you have reached the end of the current early access story and progression. We want to thank you for playing and hope that you will join our open development process as we continue to add to the game in the future. Your support means everything, and we know we make the best games possible with your feedback.
But I would have to wait to find out. The early access was out of content for now. And with that, I'd like to thank all of my channel members and lab partners. You guys give me the opportunity to experiment with videos like this that don't usually get many views. You guys are awesome. And with that, goodbye.